Hi guys, this is organic nomenclature and we are naming esters. So the general formula for naming esters would be R C O and then R, or we can use R dash to represent a change in the R group. So the formula in terms of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen would be COO written in between. One of the R would be represented as CnH2n plus 1, and the other R would also be represented as CnH2n plus 1. Do remember that the R dash here, it just represents that it is a different R group. There is no other significance to the dash placed on the R. So esters are made when carboxylic acids and alcohols react together to form esters and water. So we have a carboxylic acid with RCOOH, and then we have an alcohol with R dash OH reacting to form RCOO and R dash, and then we have water. So this represents that the R dash comes from the alcohol and the R groups come from the carboxylic acid. So this reaction would be RCOOH reacting with R dash OH producing RCOOR dash and H2O, and the water molecule that is removed is from here. The OH group is removed from the carboxyl group and the hydrogen atom is removed from ROH. So the entire RO in the ester, this part belongs to the alcohol, and the rest RC double bond O belongs to the carboxylic acids. And when naming esters, first we write the name of the alcohol and then we write the name of the carboxylic acid. So the name of the ester is written as, this part would be referred to as alkyl, and the rest of the part would be referred to as alkanoate. So esters can generally be named as alkyl alkanoate, and the alkyl part comes from the alcohol and alkanoate part comes from the carboxylic acid that makes up the ester. In order to understand how esters are named, we will be using carboxylic acid and alcohol in combinations of having a single carbon and two carbon atoms. So the first one would be a combination of a single carbon. So it would be H, C double bond O, single bond O, and CH3. The next one would be CH3, C double bond O, two carbon atoms for the carboxylic part and one carbon atom for the alcohol part. The third one, we can use a single carbon atom for the carboxylic part and two carbon atoms for the alcohol part. And we can also have both carboxylic acid and alcohols having two carbon atoms each. So, in order to name these esters, the naming would be using the alcohol part first. So, in the first example, we have methyl. In the second example, on the right, we have methyl again. In the third example, on the left, we have ethyl for the alcohol part and ethyl for the alcohol part on the fourth example as well. Now, to name the part from the carboxylic acid, in the first example, there is one carbon atom, so methanoate. On the example on the right at the top, it would be two carbon atoms, so ethanoate. On the third example at the bottom left, it would be ethanoate. Actually, one carbon atom, so it's not ethanoate, it's methanoate. And on the last example, we've got two carbon atoms. This is the one with ethanoate. So methyl methanoate, methyl ethanoate, ethyl methanoate, and ethyl ethanoate. This is how esters are named.